Where does this go, Papa? Papa? I thought it went next to Hermes. There doesn't seem to be enough room. At least nothing got broken on the journey.
Oh, everything is here. Only I am not here.
Would you like to go out into the garden? To join Mama and Aunt Minna? While we tidy up in here?
Later. Let me know when Dr. Shore arrives.
Am I late? Marty? Minna? Forgive me. Dr. Breuer detained me. Talked and talked.
We've been enjoying the sunshine.
Enjoying it? Look at poor Schoenberg.
We were just about to leave. You look exhausted.
I ran all the way. Well, first a patient refused to eat the hospital food and I had to feed him with a spoon.
Excuses.
Oh, then I got waylaid by Breuer.
More excuses.
Schoenberg, come to my rescue.
It's hot. Let's go inside.
Oh, I want to hear the gossip first. What have I missed? What's the news?
I called Frau Bernays a selfish old woman to her face.
Well done.
Zigmund. Her mother is selfish. And she won't change her mind now. We're leaving for Hamburg in a week's time.
It's only for a while. Mother said so.
I tell you, it's for good.
A week's time.
I haven't lost my temper.
Cheer up, Schoenberg. We'll kidnap them and carry them off back to Vienna, deliver them from their Egyptian servitude.
This is hardly the promised land. The fact is, Mother doesn't want to live here.
Vienna or Vladivostok, it wouldn't matter if we found two rich old husbands. Sometimes I think she doesn't even want us to be happy.
How can you say such things?
Oh, Marty, why pretend you don't know what she's like?
Pretend?
Oh, the way you spring to her defense, as if you were the only one who really cared about her.
Well, we all know how much you love Mama.
Of course Minna loves her. That's why she doesn't feel the need to spare her.
I hope when I complain of your behavior that you'll regard that as a token of my love.
I shall. I do. Only most of the time you're much too good-natured to complain. Rather like Schoenberg here. So when you tell the truth, it's usually with all the pent-up fury of the well-behaved. Whereas Minna and I...
A foul-tempered.
Foul-tempered and frank. So we can save our compliments for when we really mean them.
We seem to have chosen the wrong partners, in your opinion.
On the contrary, the right partners. It only remains to convince your mama.
Come, Ignaz.
Forgive me. It's the heat.
We'll go indoors.
He's looking better, don't you think?
Better, yes.
Perhaps he needs to lose his temper a little more often? You're very pale.
I'm quite well, thank you. You can be thoroughly unlovable sometimes.
Marty! Marty! Marty, you do understand, if you go back to Hamburg, I must know that I come first in your life. That I count for more than anyone else. So I shall work all the harder. I shall find the strength that I know I have your undivided love. And if I don't, I must know now. Let us consult what reinforcement we may gain from hope, if not what resolution from despair. Paradise lost. This morning, I thought I'd made my fortune with a new brain dye. Well, I hit on the idea of using bichromate of potash, copper, and water to make the cell structure stand out more clearly under the microscope. The trouble was the wretched specimen was so slippery like a little piece of sausage.
I don't want to hear, especially if it isn't going to make your fortune.
Yeah, but I think if you could have heard how Breuer spoke to me today, or spoke of his hopes for me. There's a post come free at the hospital in the neurology department at twice my present salary. I should apply, he says, with his support.
And he has influence.
Certainly. The man's a respected scientist. And most important, he believes in me, as you should, without reservation.
Well, then, if he can help, I do believe in you, you know that. Only be patient. Mamma feels her own poverty so keenly. Oh. Do you wonder she wants the best for Minna and myself?
Marty, one thing you have to face. Your mother is the enemy of our love. And if you go on listening to her...
I will not choose between you.
My God, you're obstinate! Marty. 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 My dearest one, my love. Please forgive me.
Don't. Someone will see.
Marty.
It would appear to be a post free in neuropathology. Perhaps, dear colleague, you would put in a word for Freud in the appropriate ear. My dear Breuer, he said, we have enough of these Jew boys up from the country. You know how Billroth is, he says it to my face. Look at what happened to young Weiss, working his brain to shreds. Too much ambition, too much haste. Festina lente. What your Dr. Freud needs is patience and some more published articles. Now that I look at you more closely, I think he's wrong. What you need is a bath.
Another day, Joseph. Thank you. I was walking, that's all.
Then take off your coat at least. Walking in this weather. Come, shirt sleeves are allowed. Matilda's out shopping with the children. You shouldn't walk. Here. And at least take a fiacre from time to time. Of course, you could afford to if it wasn't for such a cigar.
It's your cigar, Joseph. Anyway, I wanted to walk. More published articles. Did you tell Bill Roth it was on your advice that I gave up my research post to train for general practice? And now a job comes free and I find my way forward is blocked because I haven't published anything. What do they expect? Well, like if I'm trying to eat, let alone study, internal medicine, surgery, dermatology, ophthalmology. Do you realize I've spent 3 months in the psychiatric wards? I can just tell the difference between manic depression and senile dementia. And I'm onto nervous diseases in a matter of weeks. And everyone knows when you do set up in practice, you won't attract patients unless you've found your field and established a reputation in it. How? I'm not like Weiss. I don't pretend to be a genius. He, poor man, knew where he was going. At least he thought he did before myself. After 3 months under my nut, struggling with dementia, alcoholics, syphilitics, I know one thing for certain. I'm not a doctor. And I'm clumsy. I'm clumsy with patients. I'm clumsy with everyone. The wards fill me with dread. And sometimes I think I'm going mad myself. For God's sake, Joseph, what am I to do?
Hurry! Hurry! She's gonna jump! She's gonna jump! She's gonna jump! Jump! Jump!
Some rigidity.
The devil! The devil! The devil! There's my spit!
Ocular gyric problems. Downward gaze.
Look! 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 He's licking
Phallalelic tendencies. Carry on with the hydrotherapy.
Oh, it's burning! It's burning! I'm bleeding! Hurry!
Admission report.
Yes, confusion. Tics, recurrent shivers, motor restlessness, akathisia, intermittent torticollis, some improvement after electromassage. Cure improbable. Father syphilitic.
Observe. The greater the madness, the more mechanical the human being becomes in its tics and tremors. A gear has jammed. A connection failed somewhere in the elusive chemistry of the brain. But where?
Come, quick!
If we could see better under the microscope, this ward would be empty.
Come, quick! Come, quick!
Who admitted this one? Shouldn't be here.
I did. I admitted her.
This one belongs to Schultz, Department 4. You'll see after the autopsy. Brain tumor as big as your fist. You'll soon learn the signs. Now then, good morning.
I preferred you with a moustache.
Case history.
My parents warned me about him. He's a ruffian. Emile. That isn't even his name. Well, what is it? Aren't I worth it to you? You don't deserve to be loved.
Let her be.
Let her be. Let her be. Let her be. Let her be. Let her be. Let her be.
It won't last. She will quieten down.
Let her be.
Echolalia.
Oh, poor Clara.
Delusional insanity. Confusion.
You mustn't think you have to choose between medicine and science, Zigmund. I know the laboratory must seem pure and philosophical beside the rough and tumble, quackery even, of general practice. What daunts every young doctor is his authority over that everyday thing, the body. You in particular, I think, seem to draw back from that seemingly godlike responsibility. Why do you shrink from it?
Do I? Well, once, years ago, I went back home to Freiburg for a holiday, and I witnessed a consultation by a country doctor. And what he said was very simple and the same in every case. You're bewitched, my good fellow. And he said the same thing to each patient in turn, no matter what their symptoms were. Bewitched. But what impressed me most was that they all went away completely satisfied. At that moment, doctoring seemed a fatuous profession.
Diagnosis is a form of mutual reassurance for patient and doctor. Witchcraft, if you like. But you could spend your life bent over a microscope searching for some elusive chemical. Healing will always require more than drugs. The body is as malleable as a dream. And those that have the courage to explore that mystery will one day be called scientists. In time. They're not afraid to be called quacks. Until quite recently, I ran that risk myself. I've been treating a young girl, barely 20 when we began, for 2 years now, week in, week out, daily, sometimes. I tell you this in the strictest confidence. As it happened, I knew the family well. The father, Pappenheim, was ill himself, and the girl nursed him like an angel, putting her own health at risk, going without sleep, without food, until she was too weak to move. Her sight and speech were failing. She began to suffer from hallucinations, dreadful ones. Intermittent paralyses, contractions of the limbs, severe headaches. It was worsening day by day, as though in sympathy with the dying father. Hallucinations were appalling. Death's heads, skeletons in her room, the ribbons in her hair turning into snakes. And if you could have only seen her before the illness set in. She had a purity about her, a tenderness, chaste and kind. It was heartbreaking to watch her turn into a mad woman. Other doctors were called to no effect. Sometimes she wouldn't even acknowledge their presence. For her, the room was empty, except for the two of us. And I had completely lost my touch. I could not penetrate that nightmare. Until her father died. Bertha began to live again, miraculously. Made herself live again as though by some auto-hypnosis. Though her mind came and went now. The physical symptoms dragged on. And then I realized, if she could hypnotize herself, why couldn't I? Every evening I would attempt to induce a trance. She was a willing subject. Little by little, telling her she was well. Her arms and legs no longer cramped in pain. We freed the symptoms one by one, until there was no need for the trance. We only had to talk. Chimney sweeping, she called it.
I didn't know you practiced the black arts, Joseph.
Is there some Freemasonry? Ernst von Fleischl claims to be a hypnotist.
Fleischl uses it as a party trick. This was a patient in a state of living death, insensible to every therapy, but hypnosis worked. If you cry witchcraft, let me remind you, it's a name we give to a lost art, or one yet to be acknowledged.
Yes, I hypnotized my parrot once.
Successfully?
Just don't mention the subject when Meinert's around. It's his bête noire. He thinks hypnosis is a kind of pseudoscience with immoral side effects. Erotic mumbo-jumbo.
And is it?
Erotic? Not in my experience. I can't speak for the parrot, or indeed for Meinert. I think he gets his pleasure from dissection, wielding the scalpel. What we have here, my dear colleague, is a faulty machine. The question is, can the diligent brain anatomist find a cure for a short circuit?
Ernst, will you take a look at this?
What is it?
Medulla oblongata.
Ah, what's it soaked in? Well, this is a vast improvement on your previous attempt. Colors. It's quite remarkable.
What is remarkable, Herr von Fleischl?
Professor Broker.
This is Dr. Freud's work, Herr Professor. He's found, some new tincture.
May I look?
I have some news for you all. I think my search for a brain dye has finally borne fruit.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, for generations, physiologists have tried to find a staining solution which would make the tissue in the central nervous system stand out more clearly under examination. But it seems that gold dipped in chloride may be the answer.
Siggy, that's wonderful.
And no one thought of gold? That's always the solution.
Now, a man named Fletchseek thought of it. I'm the first to test it, that's all.
Is your hospital so rich, then? In gold?
Does it matter? The discovery belongs to him.
I too have good news. From the 1st of next month, my salary is being raised to 6 gulden. Him once has taken me on permanently at the travel agency.
Good, good.
Congratulations, Alexander.
Rosa, pass Zigmund his soup.
Yes, Mama.
How is Martha? Have you heard from her?
Not for a day or two. She's very busy at the moment. You know, this gold chloride business may be the turning point for me. Well, Brugger himself came into the laboratory and took a look at my first slides, and do you know what he said? I see your methods will make you famous yet. But my friend von Fleischl says he's never seen so well into the nerve fibers. He hopes it will transform the study of all diseases originating in the brain.
I understand the great von Fleischl has a few disease fibers himself.
An infected thumb from working on a corpse. One of the hazards of my profession, Alexander.
And that he's now a morphine addict. Also one of the hazards.
With what is Martha busy? Is Hamburg so interesting? Siggy?
Let the boy eat.
Oh, can't I ask him how his fiancée is keeping?
He doesn't want to talk about it.
If he was happy, he would talk about it.
Who needs a brain dye when a mother can see everything?
To tell the truth, I haven't been at all well since Martha left.
Oh. Symptoms?
Fatigues, migraines, depressions.
In short, an ordinary Viennese in love.
Well, the nights are the worst. I can't sleep for dreams.
Oh.
Violent dreams.
Then I see Queen Mabeth been with you.
No, sometimes I think this separation will cost me my sanity. I'm serious.
You mean the frustration. There's a simple remedy for lustful dreams. Girls are plenty in the Leopoldstadt.
You're speaking from experience.
You've never been?
I swear on the Madonna.
Go on fearing for your sanity, then. This drivelling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole. Have you ever noticed how madness and frustration go hand in hand? Now, if there are little chemical solutions, Zigmund, a convenient antidote to lust, Pour me a glass, would you?
It's when I finish.
Now. For the time being, take my tip. Alserstrasse 19.
Get thee behind me, Satan. I preferred you as Mercutio.
You prefer me dead, then? If I hadn't lingered on like this, you could have stayed on at the Institute, become Bruker's assistant.
Don't say that.
Zigmund.
Do you ever wonder whether we have the power to kill? By wishing it?
What makes you say that? Do you have somebody in mind?
I killed my younger brother. At least, I was convinced I did. For years.
You told me Alexander was alive and earning.
Julius. He was born a year after me, and I hated him with all my heart. He died at 9 months.
And you can remember all this age less than 2?
I can remember everything about those years. Don't you?
And there are still people you want to kill, including me?
Of course not. There.
Ah.
Prost.
Prost. To the new conquistador, may he be forgiven his sins in the name of science, or at least forget about them.
Ah, it's
It's...
Hands.
Wait. In the desk, in the drawer, in the desk, in the left, quickly. Come on! Oh, God. Oh. I've been without it for 2 days now. I've been without anything. I spent them mostly in the bath trying to ease the pain.
Can't Bill Roth bring the operation?
Waste of time. Death is already inside the walls.
In God's name, you're not dying.
An embossed car bungle in my corrupted blood. Laurie! Oh, for God's sake, shut her up. I've got the only Sanskrit-speaking parrot in Vienna. We've been learning together.
You're learning Sanskrit? Does a dying man set himself such tasks?
Why not? It's a dead language. And there's not much else to do in the bath for days on end. What about your novel? I bet you never finished that.
Burnt it months ago.
Ah.
Do you want to lie down?
No, better now, thank you.
You ought to rest.
What a lot of Don Quixotes we are, Ziggy. Will any of us see 40, do you suppose? Come, sit down. Talk to me. How is your Esmeralda?
Surrounded by suitors, so she hints. Writers, sculptors.
But she is chaste.
As snow. A chaste Madonna. Did I tell you I was thinking of emigrating?
No. Where to?
England.
Why not America?
All right, America. Sleep, it'll do you good.
You will be here when I wake up, won't you?
Of course.
That's always the solution.
Admission report?
Father, syphilitic.
You should publish at once.
Papa, Dr. Shaw is here to see you.
Where's Mama?
She went out shopping when the rain stopped.
I'll give you something right away.
Papa.
Aspirin.
Just as it was in the Berggasse.
More flowers.
But no patients today?
My mind wanders when they talk. And then they expect me to say something that is difficult with all this machinery in my jaw. So they see a withered old owl sitting there with nothing much to say. My dear Shaw, you remember we had a little talk once when we first met, you remember? Death was already inside the walls, and we agreed when the time came, I should not be forced to suffer more than is necessary.
I remember.
Your predecessor, Dr. Deutsch, I trusted him. But he hid the truth from me for months. Everyone else knew it was cancer, my cancer. But I wasn't to be told. Now I must trust you. After 16 years, it's enough. You understand? Ah, my aspirin. My best friend. Unless you can find a better way for me to suffer this infernal piece of metal in my jaw and still think clearly.
It's time to adjust it again. If you'll let me administer some Evipan, we could remove the prosthesis painlessly. This afternoon, perhaps.
Enough drugs. You know what Evipan is derived from, don't you?
How much is in here?
1/20th of a gram.
Oh. There's no improvement on champagne. It tastes foul. Have you tried it?
Ernst, trust me, it's a remarkable substance. It seems the Incas worshipped it for its medicinal and other properties.
Other properties?
Well, this morning at the library, I came across a picture of an Inca goddess presenting coca leaves to the conquistadores as a gift from the gods. To satisfy the hungry, fortify the weary, and make the unfortunate forget their sorrows. So the legend ran. But it's true. There's a man called Aschenbrand, her regimental doctor. He's been giving cocaine to soldiers on maneuvers. He says it makes them twice as hardy.
Do you have enough to take some with me?
You know Rosanna's at the hospital with his perpetual stomach cramps. Well, I gave him a few drops without letting him know what it was. And the pain vanished. I even took some home and gave it to Mama to ease her lung constriction. And offered some to Alexander, telling him that it sharpened the intelligence. Well, it does. It does more than sharpen it. It brings a kind of unassailable euphoria. With no loss of acuteness, no sense of being drugged. You feel perfectly normal, certainly not overstimulated.
And above all, without any cravings once the exhilaration passes. Imagine if cocaine could wean people off the worst addictions without pain, without nausea. It also prevents motion sickness. I've tested it in the Prater on the big wheel.
And how on earth have you found time for all this experimenting? Hmm? You sure you haven't forgotten your hospital duties and your exhilaration?
There's ample time. I work at night.
And the 7 Years' War? Gold chloride already forgotten. What an absurd, impulsive man you are.
And with this, I can transform the living brain and through it, the living body. Do you realize this is the panacea that the ancients knew? This is the elixir old Ponce de Leon spent his life searching for? Meineth's right. Our salvation is real, it's chemical, it's not metaphysical. And it's right here, in this precious powder, health and happiness.
You know, I'm beginning to feel quite transported already.
Be warned. Cocaine is also a most powerful aphrodisiac.
So you no doubt intend to slip some into Martha's tea?
We shall both partake. In the name of the gods.
Mm.
He was my friend. Go on, Rosanna. She better go and take some more. Distracted here. No, you had your chance.
You can expect a certain numbness on the lips and tongue.
So I've noticed. In an aphrodisiac, it's hardly speed of reflex that you want. It's the sustained thrust.
Leopold, I'm serious. While I'm away, you must try some on your patients.
I'm an eye specialist, Zigmund. My patients aren't suffering from general debilitation.
Well, to alleviate the pain of iritis, say. Look, I'll give you my druggist's address. I've arranged some cut-price advertising for him, so he lets me have cocaine at a reduced rate.
Cola! Come and try the dynamometer. Cola! The record stands at 7.5 now.
With or without cocaine?
There's with cocaine. Have you taken some?
Yes, I have.
Then...
For the first time in my life, people come to me. Editors asking for articles, colleagues seeking advice, and drugs. Even my professors deign to recognize me in the street. There's Freud, the father of cocaine. Don't you believe me?
Of course I believe you.
I'm going to put in for a lectureship next spring, resign from the hospital, and go to Paris. Then back to Vienna.
Wait. Why to Paris?
To study under Charcot. Breuer says he has the best collection of pickled brains in Europe. And he's promised me an introduction. Then back in triumph to Vienna, a fully fledged neurologist, a lecturer in neuropathology, ready to set up in practice. You're not listening.
I am. It's the cocaine making me laugh.
Would you like to spend your honeymoon in Lübeck when I return from Paris? Perhaps while I'm there, I should try my hand at hypnotism. It's Charcot's speciality. Who knows the power of suggestion?
Zigmund!
I've already heard.
You said a couple of weeks. You've been away a month.
A month? Is that too long for a man like Kohler to restrain his own ambitions? Too long to respect a friend's priority? Do you dash in as soon as a colleague goes on holiday? Steal his discovery and proclaim it before the world?
You've already published...
Do an essay! An introduction! I gather Kohler's already done operations using cocaine as an anesthetic. There's been a lecture in Heidelberg, a paper here before the Medical Society giving detailed accounts of Kohler's triumph. How could you let this happen?
Zigmund, it's not my job to protect your interests.
Your job! If only you'd done as I asked!
And offered cocaine as an analgesic. Kohler's using it as an anesthetic, Siggy. There's a world of difference. Not just palliative treatment, but to deaden the eye for operative purposes. You and I, we were concentrating more on the internal uses of the drug. So far, Curler's only tried it out on animals. He's due to read a paper to the faculty on the 17th. You could give one, too. It's been done before.
To be the first, Leopold. The first. You know what it means. If I could see the Herr Professor on a most important personal matter.
If it's brief, Dr. Freud. I approve.
You approve?
The beard. Much better.
Yes. Herr Hofrat, for some months now, I've thought of forwarding a formal application for a lectureship in neuropathology. And I should like to ask your opinion whether or not, on the strength of my existing publications, I stand any chance of being elected, or whether I should wait until I have more.
What are your papers on, Doctor? Yes. Coca, I know. Seem to have, what, 8 or 9 here? Yes, by all means, send in your application. When I think of some of the people elevated to the rank of lecturer, well, I don't think there'll be any objection.
I have several more things to be published, 2 of them in the immediate future.
Oh, you won't need them. These are more than enough.
But there isn't much about neuropathology in them.
Who knows anything about neuropathology until they've studied anatomy and physiology? You seem to doubt your own credentials. Everyone says you're an excellent anatomist. Just what we need.
Well, then, may I take it you'll support my candidature? I believe Professor Burker will.
Well, in that case, there shouldn't be any opposition. And if objections are raised by the faculty, well, surely he and I are men enough to push it through. Is that all?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Freud.
Thank you once more.
Herr Doctor, some of my colleagues are disturbed by reports that this coca, taken internally, may have degenerative effects. Perhaps you've come across some evidence of this yourself. And yet I understand you still champion its use in the treatment of gastric disorders and the like. Is that correct?
By no means. That is, I no longer advocate it with my first unconsidered fervor. I think that with the proper supervision and once the substance has been adequately tested, it's true. I don't believe we know enough about cocaine.
Where's Ernst? Is he all right? I can't stay long. I have a consultation at 9. Why did you lock the door?
I didn't. Ernst did, to keep out the snakes.
To do what?
I thought you'd better see him. He's been sleeping for the last hour with the help of drugs.
Morphine. Thank God for that. I came as soon as I could, forgive me.
I've refused him morphine for 3 days, and this morning I felt I couldn't hold out any longer.
You've been here for 3 days? Alone with him?
For God's sake, somebody, it's crushing me. I can't. Quickly, I can't move my legs. Quick, get it off me, please get it off me. I can't. Fafnir, the great grey worm.
What are you giving him? What do you
my
think?
feet.
Cocaine! By subcutaneous injection! Are you mad? It works faster. Help me!
Get it down. Get it down. Get it. Get it. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Get him away. Get him away. They're dripping off him. Get him away from me. They're crawling off him. I can't stand it.
It's all right. Leave me with him for a moment, please. Cocaine at least subdues him. I daren't give morphine.
Don't you understand yet? He's a double addict.
Jose.
Has this been going on all summer? How long have you been giving him cocaine like this?
I'm trying to keep him alive.
Stay with him. I'll be back after surgery.
Could you ask Hartman to bring up some more hot water?
Zigmund.
Are you in pain?
No. Still drowsy. Otherwise, remarkably good. What were you reading?
Dante. Not a bad translation. By a certain von Fleischl. Is there anything you need?
No. Oh, strange. My brain is racing again. No wonder the ancient philosophers did all their thinking in the bath. Did I hallucinate or was I dreaming? Oh, Breuer, like a great mangy crow, I remember him. Do you remember in the Purgatorio the man who reaches out for Virgil's hand? Such is my love, that I, poor ghost, forget and treat as flesh the stuff of shadows.
In the Detroit Gazette, Bentley recommends a decoction of coca leaves as a specific against opium addiction.
Against opium, yes.
Well, morphine is a derivative.
It's purified opium. Don't you see the difference?
Just as cocaine is a purer form. Fight fire with fire, Joseph. I tell you, it was working.
Working? The man craves morphine.
But that's not my doing. When Bill Roth operated on him, he had to give him morphine knowing Ernst was an addict. The man was in such agony. We had to start all over again with the cocaine treatment. And it's you who talk about having the courage to explore the lost arts and new sciences.
Not to unleash a fresh scourge, replacing one addiction with another. If people believed your claims for cocaine, we'd have a whole city full of degenerates. Believe me, and I'm speaking from the heart. I hope you win that traveling grant. The sooner you leave, the better. Madness! Madness! To think I recommended you as a sober-minded scientist, canvassed for your promotion, and this is how you reward me.
Is that what you're so concerned about? Your reputation? Well, I can set your mind at ease on that. I've been assessed on my own merit. Ask Broker, ask not Nagel.
Oh, yes. No doubt you told them what they wanted to hear. That everything the human soul requires will one day be sold in a chemist's shop. The faculty knew what you had done here to Fleischl. That have dismissed you as a reckless fool.
And you'd rather let him die? Is that it?
Let your emotions get control, Zigmund. And you are no longer a doctor.
Dr. Freud.
Yes. I've decided to rejoin the living. I was beginning to feel like Mara in that bath, waiting for Mademoiselle Corday. Is this better? You've got the grant.
Yes. And I've resigned my position at the hospital. So everything's in the balance now.
Ah. Congratulations.
I need you more than ever. When I return from Paris, I shall be at your mercy as a novice in general practice. Without your guidance...
I understand Charcot models himself on Napoleon, one hand in his jacket, huh? It'd be a magnificent opportunity for you.
The finest pickled brains in Europe.
Oh, never mind the pickled brains. Think of the Louvre and Notre Dame and the Comédie Française and Sarah Bernhardt. And they say Charcot's demonstrations rival anything to be seen in the theatre. All the best people attend. Le Tout Paris. Writers and savants from all over the world come to watch him mesmerize his patients. More long-lost magic, Ziggy, at least as ancient as our Inca potion. Charcot's a modern witch doctor, you see. That's what offends the diehards in Vienna. But the gods are on his side, I tell you. What's the matter, huh? Don't you want to learn to hypnotize your victims? What is it? In return for Charcot's secret, you can open his eyes to cocaine.
I shall waste my visit if I neglect laboratory work. Ernst, I'm going there to study neurology, not to announce a cure-all of my own. We've made great strides with the drug. You in particular have shown what can be achieved.
This is Breuer speaking.
But you must know as well as I do, I must guard against my own propensity to dream of magic potions, magic spells, which might prove to be scourges in disguise.
Listen! This is my scourge, a blood disease contracted from a corpse, not morphine, not cocaine. I don't regret the risks you've taken. I thank God for your drugs. The devil always has the best tunes. And beware of the Breuers of this world. They don't mind taking risks when it suits them, and they're justifying with high-minded, puritanical cant.
What risks has Breuer taken? You don't mean dabbling in hypnosis?
He's fished in deeper waters. Alas, for a certain young lady, one Fräulein Pappenheim.
I'm acquainted with the case.
Poor ghost. In the same boat as I am now, wrestling with the dark angel of morphine, or didn't he tell you that? He's a hypocrite rebuking you. Haven't you guessed his little secret?
That he fell in love with her, of course. And why not? With a beautiful, innocent young girl. It's of no consequence.
It's of no consequence. Listen to the man. Shall I tell you how innocent she is? Breuer was called out to her bedside late one night to find the girl in labor, screaming with the pain of the contraction, screaming, Dr. Breuer's baby is coming.
It's not true.
Ask him whether it's true or not.
His child?
Not in fact, in fantasy. There was no baby, as Breuer soon discovered, whereupon he left the house and he never went back. He rushed Matilda off to Venice on a second honeymoon and left Fräulein Pappenheim to drugs and not-so-innocent dreams, to despair. And you find that of no consequence, See, Breuer's the innocent, that's what I find. Inexcusable moral virginity, self-righteousness, and you suffer from it too. So go on, go to Paris, go and learn the black arts on the boulevards. Isn't that why you became a doctor? And learn to handle women. That makes sure the doctor knows one little place to cure. A bedside manner sets their heart at ease, and then they're yours for treatment as you please. No blood. No. I shan't be here when you return.
In God's name.
You know it as well as I do. There have been days when I hoped you would understand and not force me to suffer longer than was necessary. I would have taken steps long ago had it not been for my parents with their high hopes.
Perhaps, as well today as any other day.
No.
No argument. A farewell gift.
Ernst, I can't. In the name of the gods.
Don't fail me.